Well, what's going on, guys? It's 1:12 in the afternoon, West Coast time. It's the 9th of February 2024. The Regency, Roseman, California. I keep seeing from the independents out there, they keep talking about war politics, and somebody didn't mention anything concerning about our current weather status. CNN picked up on a news article and just happened to pop it out there and kind of got my attention. Then I had to backtrack it. A few physicists, climatologists, just to see what they were talking about. The article came out a couple of days ago, but they've been talking about this for a lot longer time. And when it comes down for science of the Earth, I need to know more. I know shortly today that the Hawaiian Big Chain actually had a 6.4 off the ocean. And it was being reported, not on CNN, but if they actually had reported on CNN, I probably missed that one too. No, one of the news stories that they actually put up there is critical Atlantic Ocean current system is showing early signs of collapse, and the scientists are having a conniption fit. They've been talking about this damn thing for a couple of years already, and been posting them on YouTube. Different areas we're talking about it, including, if I'm going to say it, Al Jazeera English. They've been posting it on YouTube as well. Talking to a climatologist out in New South Wales, and they're more worried about the current fresh water being released both in the upper and south poles. As the Earth keeps warming up, as the Earth keeps encasing more trapped gas that's adding to the warming, it's been affecting our ocean systems for decades. We haven't had a major cool down in over 12 to 15,000 years approximate. They said that from the sediment records that they're coming across, some of these scientists, that the Earth has experienced several of these shutdowns of the ocean current in the Atlantic. It's a circulation method that the ocean uses to release heat, pick up cold water, shove it in other areas where storm systems can come in and do some rain in certain portions of the Earth. Basically, the warming of the Earth, and it's not a natural phenomenon, we're cooking it. We're going to be experiencing more and more atmospheric conditions that we rarely have experienced in our own collective lifetimes or memories. Tulare County Lake is one of those out here in California, Central Valley. They depend upon the lake for their agriculture. The rainstorms that we've actually had hasn't helped much. Maybe a drop in the bucket. Last year they actually had some surfaces flooded out, and as soon as they had them dried out, they're going to try a planting, but they don't have enough water in the aquifers, and they didn't get enough snow in the Sierra Packs. They depend upon the melting of the Sierra Packs to sustain water throughout the state in different areas, including the agriculture. But you screw around with the damn weather like crazy, as we have been doing. We've been screwing around with the damn environment so much we don't even know what the hell we're doing anymore. We just keep talking about the damn stuff. Times that have been trying to figure out the warning signs, what the Earth has been trying to tell us, but we hadn't listened. And by the time we've listened, I don't know if we're well beyond. I'm not a scientist. I try to be a scientist minded, trying to analyze a few things, trying to figure the things out. I am not an academia. I don't have letters, but I try to listen and I try to study. I'm not good at the numbers, but if the data is telling me something We got to listen to the damn thing, don't we? The weather patterns we've got, the climate changes, not to mention the melting of Greenland and all the snow out there, the icebergs disintegrating up in the north. Alaska's been feeling it a great deal. There have been images of a floating around on the internet, probably for a year or two, maybe more, of a polar bear resting and sleeping on an iceberg. Is that normal? Bears are going into deeper and deeper in human territory in Alaska territory, not to mention in Canada, just to, especially in the ice regions anyway, trying to get more food because the food sources are drying up. Wells, cereals, it's part of the food chain for them. And if they're changing migratory patterns, they have to. And some of these creatures can't stand the excessive heat. It's no wonder we're getting more and more fishes on the coastline of different sorts that we've ever seen. Stuff that usually deals within the deepest portions of the water coming up to the surface. We're basically boiling our livestock, and we're boiling up seaweed down below. And it's part of the oxygen regeneration that we have. Sometimes the carbon dioxide gets absorbed into the water. Seaweed picks it up, gets the rays, reconfigures it, and then through gas exchange, we're getting the gas. It's bad enough we're doing the trees and trying to get more and more agricultural land. We're depleting our oxygen supply here. Some people are wondering whether or not we're going to be going into a deep ice or are we going to be going into a massive flooding stage? And these scientists don't know and don't have the information necessary. They're still trying to correlate it. They're still trying to analyze it. They don't know. They can't get a consensus. We got different conflicting data left and right. Science is like that sometimes. If they can get correlating and cooperating data, if it's all balancing out on everyone else's end and they're figuring out the same thing, then they got consensus. But if some of them are actually saying no, no, because it doesn't, in my opinion, because I'm not seeing it. You ever see the show Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea? Well, the original movie had Walter Pidgeon in it. And what else we had in there? Richie Robinson? Yeah. Man. I've been watching that movie for too long and I can't even remember that damn cast. Lunch to... Okay, had to be. I know Walter Pidgeon. Peter Lorre. Lord, not Andrew H. Robinson. Peter Lorre, I was trying to think of. Joan Fontaine, Barbara Eden, Robert Sterling, Michael and Sarah, Frankie Avalon. These names I remember growing up because I'd seen these characters and I'd seen these actors. They were in it. They were in the film. The film was about the Van Allen radiation belt somehow catching on fire, probably due to a meteor strike or something that hit the radiation belt. It flamed the whole thing, and the radiation belt was cooking the Earth, making water temperature rising a lot, or it's almost practically boiling some in certain cases, and melting the ice caps. Not to mention cooking the landscape to a point where people couldn't even deal with it. It's like about 120, 130, almost 140. There's certain areas of the desert regions that we have on our planet. It's there, including Mojave. Death Valley is one of those hottest places we've got on Earth where everything is cooking in there. You cross it, you're going to be a ghost. Unless, of course, these days, if the vehicles don't break down, You just might make it across it or partially, but people want to see a death zone. That's the place to see it. They call it Death Valley because too many people crossed it without the proper, well, with mostly water, shade, and food supplies lasting. If they stretched that long enough, they could have made it across the damn place, but they call it Death Valley because too many people died in it, and too many creatures. There's no water places in that area. So I'm listening to the news that's happening. I'm reading articles about this damn thing. I'm going through the YouTube just to see some of the varying opinions about this. There was one scientist, I think back in the 1960s, who was trying to warn everybody back then, but we didn't take him too damn seriously. Are we too late for that now, I wonder? Uh, Something similar news. There was a California Assembly bill being put into the office. I gotta show something to you. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna put the headset up for a minute here. Okay. Well, that was wonderful. What? There goes my vest. Yeah, my back's giving me shit tonight. Okay. I don't suppose we all know what this is. Anybody out there? You should. For over about a year or two, I collected a lot of these damn things and filled in about 3 huge plastic trash bags. I mean, huge monsters of these damn things. They're supposed to be reusable. And yet, every time I keep going to the store to get more groceries, I end up with more of these things. They end up as trash bags around here. To a point where I had to put other things and take them out to the garbage all the damn time. There is a assembly bill out there in California right now. It's going to go through the state legislature on this. They're going to be debating about this and whether or not if Newsom's going to be signing into law. We're going to be banning this in California. Every one of them. I don't know if there's going to be an immediate date on this damn thing. But here's the question. How do we get our groceries? There's going to be charges on these things. I mean, it's one thing when I go into a liquor store and they're going to charge me about 10 to 15 cents per bag on it. Okay, fine. We already got prices on that currently that DoorDash does to us. DoorDash is one of those delivery companies I use all the time. And there's going to be more money coming out of my pocket just to pay for those damn things. Because we're ending up out there in trash bins and landfills. Because people aren't using these things recycled now. If I can get over to the store, I could use these things as a recycle. If I go over to the liquor store, I've always been using these things. As long as I had a few left, I'd reuse the plastic bags, shove the stuff in there, and carry it back home. I'm okay on that one. I'm okay when it comes down for recycling. When it comes down for those large cans of pineapple or food stuff that you have in there, if they're large enough, I use them as grease cans. And they're good for roach traps as well. They fall into the stuff and they can't get out and they sink into it. And I don't reuse the oil. I just use them for traps all the damn place. The glass jars that you use for salsas and dips, I use those too. Wash them out and I constantly reuse them. Plastic containers concerning about coffee. I put chips in them. Because you got to wash these things out first. There's a lot of water usage. As soon as this is done, or I'm going to be getting another smaller container to throw into this one. Use the smaller container also to store stuff. Larger containers concerning about large coffee, large coffee containers. They're still useful for storage. These things are like my Tupperware. The containers that we get from Taco Bell. Hang on. You get food on when you get from Taco Bell. Basically, if you're going to be ordering about nachos, that's what they put them on. I see a lot of people toss these damn things out. I wash them up. They're good plates. I can use them. In the situation I'm in regarding the roach war, I'm using any and every advantage I have. I'm trying to use any and every advantage I can to recycle. Because if I can, I'm not destroying the earth all that much. Containers concerning about, and I'm not bringing it over here because it's way too far and not about to, but containers, the larger containers of Cascade dish pods, I'll wash them out, I'll use them for storage. For other things in there that are not food related, like utensils and stuff, I'll do other storage with them. I'm trying to do what I can, my part in the environment. It's not the environment I'm using it for storages, but in one way, I am using it for the environment. As I said before, if I wash out enough of those containers for Folgers, I can use them for food storage. Macaroni, for one. Take them out of the packages. I've got them. I would have them stored in these things. I realize how screwed up we are. I know food prices are going to be going out there left and right. We could we could scream politics until we're blue in the face, and it ain't doing anything. We humans have screwed this damn planet up. We don't take responsibility of Mother Earth. Guess what? Mother Earth is going to kick our ass if she's not doing it already. You want to see something about Earth being pissed off at us? If you want to look at it in a metaphysical way, Iceland is going through another eruption phase, about the third one already. It's going to be shutting down airports. It's already shut down the tourist industry out there. Hawaii, I'm still waiting for more damage reports coming in from USGS over that place. Why am I saying something about that? Because volcanoes release gases in the atmosphere. If you got enough volcanic activity happening over here, it changes our atmosphere a great deal. Now, either we're trying to get some kind of stabilization through the earth, or else we're trying to kill ourselves. It's that simple. When I hear in the island chains that there's going to be massive movement, then I'm looking at, and I'm not a geologist, but I look at things. I see movement of magma. Hawaii chain is what they call a hotspot. It's basically where plumes of lava over millions of years have made islands by going through the earth crust and spreading out the mantle, new fresh material up there, and forming islands that it'll take generations to have plant life started somehow. birds and creatures flying around, deposited on the ground. They'll have their nesting areas. And who knows, about a century or two, we got a little bit of lushness going on in an area because plant growth adds to the food, adds to the chain of life, basically. We get atmosphere, we get oxygen, we get a landmass for other creatures to land upon. Geologic movements happening where Earth gets subducted into the Earth mantle, reformulate, and pops back up one way or another, in one form or another, usually volcanic. And if there's movement in the Earth, that's how we feel the shaking. Sometimes the rocks are still sliding on the lava. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down, sometimes it goes diagonally. It goes whatever kind of direction that the current is running. Now this is the Earth rock movement. But even that can affect weather. Pop enough gas into the atmosphere. You have gas that's going to be covering the Earth at this point, one section or another. When we actually had those massive volcanoes in the past 50 years, they actually did some change to the atmosphere temporarily, but it did cool down certain areas where we actually had water coming, and other areas frying us up a bit. So, with enough carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, with not enough absorption of it, yeah, it does add up to a shield. We're cooking ourselves because the shield is in place. We're turning out to be like Venus. Give us another, maybe 1,000 years, we'll be Venus, maybe. 1,000 years. Not today. Today, they're still reporting, the scientists are, that the ocean currents that are going through the Atlantic right now. Now, have you guys ever looked at Google Maps? Yeah. All right, boys and girls. Check out Google Maps. Again, I'm no oceanographer. I'm no climatologist. I'm no meteorologist. I'm a nerd who tries to keep up with science as much as he can. And this stuff actually does concern me because it's going to be affecting me. Besides the pocketbook, it's also going to be affecting my plate here. And your plate too. It's going to be affecting the atmosphere and how we breathe, how we deal with the temperature outside. If the summers are going to get worse and worse, if we're going to get more and more flood risings in different areas. And not to mention, if we're going to be changing the damn uh, rivers and the waters to the point where it is going to be affecting us a great deal. We need the circulation of the currents to distribute heat evenly and the cold. But what the scientists have kept looking at all these times, if I can just get into there, I need, oh, this kind of this kind of scares me every time I keep seeing what the current pictures from NASA are because of our there there are sections that I keep checking on from time to time, once in a while, just to see what's going on. When they start showing me red mostly in the water, I know we're in trouble. The only cold spot that they actually found was right near Greenland. Everywhere else was being cooked alive. And what I'm trying to find out is what the current status is. Yeah, this should scare you and me too. We can do as much as we can concerning about global warming, but what we have going on, I don't know. I'm trying to see a map of the water temperature. Okay, hold on. I need to get it reiterated here. Hi, Mama. How you doing? What's going on, baby? Hi there. I'll take you in a few minutes. I'll take you. Why don't you go get some water? I'll get you going. Just go get some water. Yeah, it scares the hell out of me every time I keep seeing some of this stuff over here because this really gets to me. I'm trying to pull up the current. Yeah, I know, Ma. I know. Okay, so somewhere in this time zone. Ocean warming. Okay. A few areas back in 2016, whatever they got, is showing a lot of warming because of what we're doing. I can't tell you what the solutions are. We can only try to do as best as we can, but sometimes it's just not enough. I look at the area concerning about the Atlantic Ocean. I have been trying to talk to people and I've been trying to understand that when we actually have storm systems coming in, we in California are not really ready for hurricanes because we have never been dealing with them. We've only been dealing with land movement, subsurface movement of the earth. We tried to strengthen our buildings to make them somewhat wind resistant, but we've never dealt with flooding before. But earthquakes we had to because of history that we've had with quakes. But imagine, and it's scary as hell right now. I'm going to save a picture of this damn thing. I got to save a picture of this damn thing. I'm looking at the Atlantic, but I'm also looking at my own home turf of the Pacific Ocean. It's scary. Because when I'm showing more warmth in the water, when I'm showing more warmth in the atmosphere, what it's telling me right now is we are in for it. I had prided myself on believing that we'll still get some cold water coming down Alaskan pipeline. What if we don't get it? What if we don't get it? That's what terrifies me a great deal more. Because right now, that's the only thing to me that matters is looking at this picture and realizing just how screwed up we are. Once we get that going, I don't know what the hell we're going to do. To tell you the truth, honest to God, I don't know. I kept saying to myself, I kept trying to delude myself that if we get a current changing in the atmosphere that's going to be affecting everywhere else, we are screwed worse. And seeing how the waters have warmed over the past my lifetime, more than that, yeah, we're royally screwed.